everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. Why don't we start a new show and tell video? First up, we've got a couple of hydraulic cylinders that we got at the auction. We got them for cheap. This one is what they call a tie rod cylinder, but you can use it for other things. And this one is a utility center. We got this one cheap because it's got a pin kind of stuck in the end of it, but we'll get that out, and worst case, if we have to, we'll cut this off and make a new sleeve on the lathe and weld it back on. A side note to this ram with the stuck pin in it, you can see the grease fitting in the end that the previous owner obviously was not aware of. So, you remember in the last video we bought this, I'll go get it. We bought this really cute little Remington electric chainsaw. I was kind of skeptical about it, but I've been using it a little bit, and I'm actually quite enamored with it. It's a nice little saw. So, at the latest auction, its big brother popped up. This is a bigger one with a 16-inch bar. The chain feels a little dead, but it's a decent machine, I think. So anyway, we're going to find out if it works. Seeing as how we did buy it at the auction. Not that I've ever bought anything at the auction before that doesn't work. I used to have a rule, don't buy anything at the auction that has a two-stroke engine or plugs in. But I just keep breaking my own rule repeatedly. Anyway, are you ready? I'd say she works. Next up, we've got a top link for a tractor, and this is a very interesting one because it seems to be category 1 on this end and category 2 on that end, but that's okay. You could just buy a conversion bushing, so everything around here is category 1. So we'll just get a conversion bushing in there, and this will be fine to use. I got it for like, I don't know, $4 or something. Well, we got 2 electric chainsaws at the auction because I saw this one too and it was going by and I got it for like 10 bucks or something. So you can't go wrong with that. Well, you can go wrong if it doesn't work, I guess. Let's see. I'm going to gift this one to my brother if it works. Yeah. There you go. That's a perfect little thing for him to use around his place. He just bought a house. So that'll be good for him. Next thing we got from the auction is this nice little depth gauge. It's got all the, you can see here, it's got the different plungers. Outstanding. Next we got this ginormous pipe cutter. I've been looking for a big pipe cutter for a long time. This thing goes up to 2 inch, so that's a nice thing to have around the farm. All right, this, I don't even know what it is, but I bought it, so we'll be surprised together when we open it and see what's in there. Oh, some carbide burrs. Always looking for these. These are great things to have. Fiddling around with cylinder heads and stuff like that. The more carbide burrs you have, the more interesting things you can do. Except that one. Here's a bunch of reamers that we got. You have to see, they're marked what size they are. My eyes aren't that great anymore. This big adjustable one, look at the size of this sucker. And some genius needed a way to drive it, so they welded a snap-on socket to it. I guess they couldn't find like a Canadian Tire socket to weld to it. All they had was snap-on ones on that day. Beautiful. And we got this here, a brand new 5/8 drill bit. Next up is why you sometimes gotta, they'll take like a thumbnail picture out of all the pictures they take of the lots, and sometimes they don't exactly choose wisely enough. So I was scrolling down and I saw this bucket of miscellaneous sockets. I said, yeah, well, it's a bucket of sockets. Like, I need more sockets. But then I said, oh, there's more pictures. I opened up the second picture, and it's this almost complete socket set. It's just missing the ratchet and one extension. It's Mastercraft. I have everything loose kicking around here to make this complete. And here's the last thing, and this thing is really cool. I'm very happy with this. 8 tracks, but they're good rock 8 tracks, and they're hard to find. King Crimson, the Moody Blues, Neil Young, Jimi Hendrix. Oh yeah, the Stones, Exile on Main Street. This is just awesome. There's even a couple of home recorded ones. Cat Stevens, Tea for the Tillerman. Oh yeah. Here's some more good stuff we got at the auction. This, you can tell, nothing too exciting about this. Just a marine battery box, but I always like to keep one of these in stock because they come in handy when you're mucking around with RVs and race cars and trailers and stuff like that. So for $4, how could I say no? Next thing we got, these two things came as a lot. A splitting wedge. I was looking for one more like this. This matches the one I already have, because when we start splitting up those big, huge pieces of willow out there, I don't think one splitting wedge will be enough. So we'll get 2 or 3 of them in a line to get that thing busted in half. And it, as a consolation prize, was bundled together with this little band clamp thing. So it looks like it's for making square boxes. Well, I don't know what I'll do with it. Might end up back at the auction. And the last thing I got, I'll have to see if this works, but it's a little tachometer. So you needs a battery, I guess. But thankfully, it comes with the instructions. And this is for if you've got an electric motor or something turning and you're wondering how fast it's turning. You just put this thing against it and it gives you a readout. Very handy. When you're working on these old tractors that don't really have anywhere to get an RPM reading from when you're setting up the carburetors and stuff. Handy tool. Well, so long as it works. We'll put this in the project pile. Next up, we've got this little Dexion angle shear. These things were made in England. They're a really nice little thing and this is what they do. They shear angle. I don't know if it would shear something this thick, but maybe with a long enough handle it would. But that's what it does. You put, what I think this would be great for is like, I don't know, for drywall or for corner beads, you know, where you're constantly chopping corner beads. You don't have to cut metal if you've got, you know, it depends what you're doing. But this is a handy tool. Made in England, so it must be good. Here's a set of transfer punches we got at the auction for cheap. I mean, like, I don't know, $15 or $12 or something. And what these are for, if we're pretending these gaskets here were actually metal, it's for transferring these holes. So you would just line that up there, and you just go around, and you would find you'd get the centers of all these holes. Precisely. No guessing. So that's what transfer punches do. Last thing I got to show you today is all this hydraulic stuff. I got all this stuff for like 20 bucks. And mostly what I'm after is I've got a small hydraulic press over there that I've been looking for one of these for. A foot control for it. This might be a little heavy duty for what I need. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. And we've got a couple of these are Enerpack hand pumps. Who knows if they work or not, but I've got most of a little pipe bending outfit, but it doesn't have the pump. So every time I go to use it, I got to steal the pump from my Porta Power kit, and it's a pain in the neck. Here we've got a pulling ram for the Porta Power. I don't have a pulling ram for my Porta Power, so that's good. Hopefully some of this stuff works. And we do have a couple of Enerpack rams here. And I've got this, which I'm not sure what the heck it is. Some kind of double acting cylinder. And I've got these two Arrow. They're some kind of old pumps, but they're all rotted out. They're junk. I'm just going to put them in the scrap. So hey, for 20 bucks, what the heck, let's take a chance. All right, so this here is one of the Enerpac Porta Power pumps that we got at the auction. And like I said, I needed one of these for my pipe bender because my pipe bending rig came without the pump. And I keep stealing it from my frame straightening kit. And I'm always having to run back and forth with fittings and everything. It's a pain in the neck. So we got this, and I just used a Pioneer coupler for a tractor. That's good enough for this, for the odd time that I use it. And as you can see, it's working fine. I'm not going to bore you with all the gory details, but I did push the thing all the way out to make sure it would build pressure, and it does build pressure when it gets to the end of the stroke. So this setup is good to go, so we can bend pipe. So you can see here, we're pumping away and nothing is happening. So this one is DOA. But what we're going to do is look up on Google and see if for cheap we can find a rebuild kit, because there's probably very little to it. Just a piston cup and a check ball and a spring probably is all there is to it. What we're going to do now is, because that hand pump doesn't work, we'll see if this pneumatic one works. So we're just going to try the actual pneumatic part and pump part of it, like just see if it turns before we go ahead putting lines and everything on it. Looks good so far. Yeah, might work. We've got our reservoir full of oil and our air line hooked up. Let's see what happens. Look at that. It works. Look what we got at the auction. More 8-tracks. So now I've got those two from before, and I've got this load that I just got now. So what we're going to do is go through them all, pick out the ones we want, and, well, we'll get rid of the rest of them. There's some good stuff in here. Look, Nazareth, Cheap Trick, Perry Como, Tony Orlando. I'm not sure about those. Mac Davis. Paul Williams. Oh, my goodness. Supertramp. So, anyway, we'll go through all these and see what we're going to get. So here we've gone through them. These are the ones we're going to keep. And those are all the ones over there that we're going to get rid of. And look, another robot vacuum. I think in the last show and tell video, we had an iRobot Roomba that we bought at a yard sale to use on the second floor of our house here. But Deb didn't like it. She just didn't like the way it worked. She didn't like how you cleaned it out and stuff. So a Shark, which is our other three are Sharks, popped up at the auction. So she got it for a good price, and it's like new, and it works great. She's very happy with it.
Got one lot of Tupperware, which included all of this. This is what I wanted, so we're keeping this. The rest will go back to auction and hopefully get most of our money back.
But what is this stuff?
Celery holder, spice thing, just a container, server, lettuce keeper, pickle holder.
There you go. Vintage Tupperware is a thing. Here's a good thing we got at the auction for $5. Brand new 16x6 dually wheel. The right one for that Ford there. So in case we ever needed one, for $5 I wasn't going to let that go. It just looks beauty. Hey, we can use that for a spare tire or whatever. Just put it on the shelf. If we ever happen to need a rim, we got a rim for it. And then we were driving along and we saw a yard sale, and I got this beauty fiberglass handle 6-pound sledge for $2. How can you go wrong with that for $2? This thing is probably 40 or 50 bucks to go buy it. And I'm a little guy. The 8-pound ones are just a little much for me, but these 6-pounders are perfect. What we've got here is something that I've been looking for a long time. This is a truck hoist. So this allows you to make the bed of your truck dump. They sold these at Princess Auto for years and years, and I don't think they sell them anymore. And I've always been looking for one. They were hundreds of dollars anyway. I got this thing at the auction. I think I got that for 25 bucks. And this ram It needs a little modifying to actually work on this, but I got the Ram for $20 or something. So that's pretty darn good. And I'm probably going to, I've got a couple of box trailers out the back. We're going to make one of them into a dump. Then we stopped at a yard sale on the way home. And I'm always fooling around with model cars and stuff. And we found this, a 1/25th scale 1977 Monte Carlo. This is going to get made into a NASCAR car. I don't know whose. It might get made into a DW car, a Cale Yarborough car, a Richard Petty car. This is going to be a NASCAR car. I just have to look. There's got to be somebody that makes the aftermarket, that makes the bumpers for it. And this is a cool body to find. $2. And at the same yard sale for $5, I got a sealed brand new K&N filter charger kit. We've got several vehicles around here with K&N filters on them. And I think these are like $25 at Canadian Tire. So that's a win. Now we're into a bunch of stuff here we got at McGraths Auction in Orono, Ontario. And it's a neat place because they're actually very good at getting your stuff all packaged together. So when you go to get it, they've got it all lot by lot in little bags all tied up so nothing gets lost or misplaced. And it's kind of like Christmas time because by the time you get home, you forgot what you bought and you get to open all these packages and see. So let's see what we got. And not to mention the vintage bags. Like, look at this vintage Eaton's bag. Isn't that cool? What do we got here? Merry Christmas to me. Moto Master. Good used distributor cap. Looks like a Chrysler one. Definitely a Chrysler one, look. And a used set of points, which are probably better than anything you can buy today. That's not, and there are condensers in there too. Oh no, wrong. It's Ford. I can use this on my Galaxy. Look, Fomoco script inside it. That's an original scripted Ford distributor cap. Who knew? It just keeps getting better. And that is vintage too. Like, look at that. That's just cool to have around. And we got this. And I think I already have one of these, but I've never tried it before. It's got still the Canadian Tire part number on it. And it's an old school timing light. Isn't that cool? You literally just put this in line with your spark plug, and with the engine running, it flashes that. And you look at your harmonic balancer and set your base ignition timing. And it's got the instructions. So that's really cool. I got both of these things for like $2. Another cool vintage bag for people from Canada. Look at that. Woolco. Wow. What do we got here? Oh, yeah. I know what this is. Very, very nice. A vintage snap-on dwell meter. Yes, I know I'm always showing you dwell meters. I have this thing for vintage dwell meters. But this was a snap-on one. I mean, I couldn't let this one go. Let's see. Look at that. Hopefully she works. That's just beautiful. Beautiful. Here we've got a pretty interesting thing. It's an old Autopar wheel cylinder rubber repair kit or assortment or center, whatever you want to call it. And it's not like I really rebuild a ton of wheel cylinders around here, but as you've seen on some of the other projects we've done around this place, sometimes you're fixing a hydraulic jack or something, and these wheel cylinder cups are just the ticket. We already, when we did the video about fixing all our jacks, we actually used a wheel cylinder cup, and I had to buy a wheel cylinder kit to get that. Whole set, $5. Now let's see what we have in here. Here we've got an old Hastings piston ring compressor tool. It seems to be missing the handle, of course. But that's all right. It's just a piece of square stock. We can make one. Does it say what size? It from 2 to 5 inch. That'll do pretty much anything we do around here. We got... One of my hones needs a new set of stones. And I believe it's actually a Blue Point hone. Look at that. Blue Point hone stones. It doesn't get any better than that. And the last thing here is a piston ring groove cleaner, which is something that I probably should have, but I've never had. I've just usually used a piece of a broken ring to do it. Now we've got the right tool. Last thing we've got here is another really cool vintage piece of snap-on diagnostic equipment. I missed one of these at an auction before, but now I got one and it actually matches the dwell meter that we got. This here is an alternator tester. So you can test alternator output with this. Isn't that nice? And it came with the manual as well. Well, that was an excellent load of show and tell stuff. Wow, we got all kinds of stuff. I just love finding these goodies and showing them to you. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at them too. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up now and take off. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll come back and see what we're doing next time. I want to thank you all for supporting our channel. Just this week, we passed 2,000 subscribers. It's something it's not a huge number compared to some of the channels out there, but for our little world here, 2,000 people are interested enough in what we're doing to hit that subscribe button. Fascinating. Anyway, thank you all again for your support, and we'll see you next time on the Claremont Classic Garage. So long for now.